Alright guys, so today I'm going to explain the exact reason that makes you turn your winning weeks into losing months, and it has nothing to do with your strategy. Maybe you start the month disciplined, you follow your rules, you take clean setups, things work, but then something changes and you start overtrading, breaking rules, forcing trades, and it makes you lose all your winning profits. And you may wonder, why does this happen? This is because of the mental capital. So today I'm going to explain this. So first of all, what is the mental capital? The mental capital is the quality of your decision making energy, and it is a limited resource. This is very important because just like your personal account, you have limited funds. You have some money that you can invest, but you can also waste it and you don't have more money, right? So in trading, bad decisions often come from a low mental capital, not a lack of skill or some concept that you don't know yet, right? We need to have in mind that every trade and every decision drains our mental capital and costs us mental energy. So if we know this, we know that we are going to lose focus, and to make an analysis, we need focus in the asset, the chart, and everything, the context. Also, managing uncertainty drains our energy. Also, managing emotions is very exhausting because we need to have in mind what's the better decision and not what do we want to do in that exact moment, right? Also, losses can create cognitive stress, and everything will drain our mental capital. So, why winning traders suddenly start losing? We need to have in mind that this is a cycle. So first, maybe someone starts with discipline but takes a few losses because this is trading and you're going to take losses. That makes you stressed and your confidence drops. Also, as your confidence is now lower, your emotional control weakens and you start making impulsive decisions. This leads you to FOMO, revenge trading, over trading, and therefore having shit executions and breaking your rules. And that makes you lose all your profits and even more money, right? So now that you understand what's the mental capital and how does it affect your trading, I'm going to explain the signs because there are always signs before breaking your rules. Also have in mind that those signs don't appear overnight. It all happens slowly. You might not notice, but you end up making shit decisions, right? So the first sign would be over trading, right? Maybe you took a loss, you want to make it back fast, and you start to overtrade. That's going to drain your mental capital a lot, and maybe one day you take two more trades, you close the red, but the next day you are not going to accept closing the day red, so you are going to keep trading till you blow your account, right? The next sign will be changing your strategy every time you take a few losses. I'm not saying you can't get better at trading and have a different system, but jumping from one system to another after a few losses is a clear sign that you don't know what are you doing and you're going to end up without mental capital. Remember that it's not your strategy, it is probably your executions and your lack of consistency that destroys your edge. I'm pretty sure most of people seeing this video have a profitable strategy but don't know how to execute it properly and make silly mistakes that end up erasing all the profits. And last but not least, moving your stop losses in a hurry to recover and refusing that you might be wrong with your ideas. Also, when you do this, you are turning a planned risk into an emotional decision making, and that's the reason most people end up losing a 10% when they had to lose a 1% maybe, right? And you don't have now 100 trades to recover because you just lost 10 trades in one bad decision, right? Also, looking for a big trade, trying to recover losses as quickly as possible, making your size bigger, having a revenge mindset in general, right? And as you can see, every sign I mentioned is related to the discipline and also acting as a professional. Every time you want to make one silly mistake, like the ones I mentioned, think, would a professional that lives from trading do this right now? Because if your goal is to make money, live from trading, and be a profitable trader in general, how can you act like a complete beginner or a gambler that goes to the casino and expect the markets to provide you the same benefits that they provide to a professional and a disciplined person, right? It doesn't make sense. So now that we understand everything, I'm going to explain how to protect our mental capital. The first thing that we need to have in mind is that we are not robots, right? We are humans. And as humans, we are going to be tired sometimes, and there's nothing you can do about it. So we need to take breaks. When you push, and try to do everything like a robot, you might do well for some time, but there's one day that you just blow up and you start destroying everything, right? And in this business, destroying everything means losing all our money and all our tools in order to work, because this is our work and without money we can't work. So take breaks, don't be retarded, and if you are very tired, markets are going to be there, they are not going to disappear. Just take a break, bro. Also set a daily loss limit. No one likes to take losses, but this is the business we are in. And there are days where you won't understand anything from the market. And if you take one, two losses and come back tomorrow with a fresh mindset, you will survive them. But if one day means taking 20 low probability trades and blowing your accounts, means that there's no tomorrow, and that's what we want to avoid. This also links with the next point: fewer and higher probability setups. Why do I say this? Because as humans, we have limited mental resources, and there are a lot of studies speaking about how you can only make like 2 or 3 decisions, if I'm not wrong, a day with your full attention and focus. So if you try to take like 10 trades a day, it won't work because you are just not focused when you are taking all the trades, and you will end up taking city trades too, right? And also keep a journal and also emotional, right? When you track all your results, you want to also track all your emotions, because as humans, it doesn't matter how professional you are, you will have emotions. And if you don't track them, if you don't recognize the triggers that make certain decisions happen, you won't improve. And we are here to improve and be better traders and make more money, right? And also, this goes as well with taking breaks. Don't trade when you are mentally drained. If you just had the worst month of your life or something really bad happened in your personal life, just take a break, because as I said, markets will be there, but your mentality isn't prepared for a bad streak or a perfect trade that goes to your stop loss, or maybe it weeks you out and then it goes to TP. And if you aren't prepared for all the shit that can happen in the markets, something will happen and you will just destroy everything you worked for, right? So my advice is to start every trading week asking yourself, is my mental capital okay this week? Because as you've seen, it is going to improve your decision quality, and trading is just about making decisions. I'm going to long here because this, I have this invalidation here, this target here. So you're always making decisions. You need a good decision quality or you won't make money from this, right? Also, we need to protect our money because, as I said, it is our tool, and without money, we can't work. So if you just can't take good decisions because your mental capital is blown and you can't protect your money, you will be out of the business before even realizing what you're doing, right? Also, not compounding bad decisions. If your decision quality is good enough, you might make one mistake one day, but you are not going to compound mistake after mistake because this is what kills every account. Just one mistake won't take you out of the business, but one mistake after one mistake after one mistake will 100% sure kill your account and kick you out of the business. And also consistency. Our goal is to aim for consistency. If we don't have consistency, we just can't make money in trading, succeed, forget about that. So if your mental capital is okay, you might have an opportunity to be a consistent trader and make money and live from this. But if it is absolutely cooked and you can't take a break, you will never be a consistent trader and you will blow your accounts in the end always. Maybe you had a few thousands in payouts, but it doesn't matter. Next week, you are going to blow the accounts, and next week, you are going to use this money from the payouts to buy more accounts, and next week, you will blow the accounts again while trying to make money, right? So this is all for today's video. If you enjoyed, you can subscribe, and also you can see all my live analysis inside the Telegram group I have in the description. It's completely free, so join and see you there.